Hello, I'm Mary Director, and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I hope you'll have time to stop by my blog besides viewing my videos here on YouTube. My blog is www.KreatesKards.com. Also, if you want to purchase any Stampin' Up! Products, you can purchase it directly from my Stampin' Up! Website, which is marydirector.stampinup.net. I will bring this back at the end of the video, but again, the first URL is my blog. The second one is my Stampin' Up! Website, so that you can purchase Stampin' Up! Products. Thank you. This is my first video for Stampin' Up! For this new year, so Happy New Year for 2013. I'm going to showcase two brand new products. We had a new catalog that premiered at the beginning of this month. It's our spring mini catalog, and it's valid from January 3rd to May 31st, 2013. Just some really, really nice products, lots of pictures, lots of ideas. So this is our catalog. It is also online. If you go to my blog, you'll find a link there for it. The two products we're going to showcase today, the first one is Vanilla 5-inch wide flower trim. It comes 2 yards to a package, and I'm using it as an accent here, also on the dress. It comes in, it's a row. It has a netting on the back. It's very pliable. You can cut right, I won't cut this one, but you can cut right through it. So you could cut a single flower, you could cut 3. If you wanted to cover the bottom of a scrapbook page, you could cut as many as you want. There is 2 yards total in this. It's very vanilla in color. We're going to change the color by using Stampin' Right markers. The other product I want to showcase today is called Delicate Details Lace Tape. It's a self-adhesive tape that allows you to do accenting. It comes in 2 different designs. The first one is the lace, which is what we're going to use on our project. It's 1 inch wide and 3.28 feet long. This one, which is the one you see here on the red, is the doily. It's 3/4 inch wide by 3.28 feet long on the roll. So I'm going to show you how to use these today. I'm using a piece of cardstock that's 5.5 inches by 2.5 inches. You could use any size you wanted. I like this because it's a good accent size. If I wanted to put it on the bottom of a card, in the middle. So that's why. If you wanted to do it like on the bottom of this card, you could just go ahead and adhere it directly to the card. Just cut it to the size you need. It's pretty versatile in what you can do. On this one, I cut a single flower. I accented it just like I did, we're going to do on our display today, our tutorial. And then I just used a little bit of liquid glue and adhered it to the dress. I thought it made it a real cute accent. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to do this. We're going to take our cardstock, and we're going to use the lace. Now when you open these, there is a little circle adhesive. Gently remove it because it's right onto the tape, and then I just hold onto it. You're going to cut, I cut a little bit more in case I'm a little off. What you need for your piece of cardstock, then bring this back and roll it. I roll it tight, then I take the little circle and I adhere it. Okay, holds it in place. Otherwise what will happen, this will just poof out on you. This is put on adhesive. It's a flexible, when you're doing this, it's not going to stick to anything because it's still in the plastic. When you take it, go to peel it off, it is very sticky on the other side, so you just need to be careful. And it takes a second because I don't have very good fingernails. And then you're just going to peel apart. Okay, here's the plastic. We're just going to throw it away. Because I'm working with a short piece, I can just go ahead and lay it straight down. If you were working with a longer piece, you might want to start with one end and then press across so that you get, you know, good straight adhesion to it. You decide whether you want it in the middle, on the bottom. I want it in the middle. So I place it. Once it's in place, then apply pressure. And then because I did have a little extra, I'm just going to cut it off. I just turn it over in the back, and it's real easy to see then. Okay, so that's how it looks. You could use this alone on a card. I mean, it's a beautiful accent, and then just add your sentiment in. If you use a lighter cardstock, just so you can see the difference, the pink one is very, very, makes the lace look very, very translucent, almost pastel. So it's not going to show as well. These are both the doily. It isn't showing as well as it would on the red. So if you want it to stand out, to be very bold, use a rich color, a darker color, or something that's very bright that isn't going to have the light to it. So anyway, it's just to show you the contrast. All right. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to take some paper towel, because if the marker gets through on my grid paper here, it still can go through to my work surface, and so I don't want to take the chance of staining the kitchen counter here. I'm working with Stampin' Right markers. If you buy the full set, they come in this nice carrying case, and then they're labeled here on the sides as far as the colors. It has a snap top so you can get in them, a nice handle. When you store Stampin' Right markers, you want to store them horizontally, not vertically. The reason you want to store them horizontally is because you want the ink inside to stay at both tips, to keep both tips moist. So that's really, really important. Whether you have a carrying case, whether you use one of our clear stamp cases to hold them, that'll hold about 10 colors, 10 of the pens. Whether you store them just on your counter, you know, on your tabletop, your work surface, store them horizontally. Our pens have a fine tip and a wide tip, or a brush tip. If you look at the pen, there's a very thin line and there's a very thick line. Also, there's a pen point picture here and a brush point picture here. That tells you which side is which in your pens as you're using them. We want to be sure that in this project that we're using the brush, because we actually want to paint the area on the flowers. Okay, so now we're going to start with the flowers. I'm using, I'll tell you the colors as I use them. This is Real Red. Again, I'm using the thicker or brush point tip. You just start going inside the flowers here, and I just go inside the petals, and on the outer layer I do the outside, so we get a little bit of color on the outside also. The flowers are set on some netting. The netting's a little bit wider than what the flowers are, so I have my finger on that to help position. Getting the pen down in helps with the color too, helps spread it, gives your flower a little richer color. I don't want the color all the way down in. I want it to also show through, so you're getting some of this very vanilla. If you wanted a deeper coating, what you could do is take our aqua painter and then use some of our re-inkers and literally paint these with the aqua painter, because it would be a brush effect. Okay, this one's Tempting Turquoise. Again, you can start wherever you want in the flower. I usually like to start in the middle. It's just a matter of coming around, having the flower touch different parts of the, not the flower, having the pin tip touch different parts of the flower. Try to be careful that you don't hit the flower on the other side. The next color I'm going to do is pumpkin pie. If you do get ink on the next flower over, just go over it with your next color. You may just have a little darker spot. More than likely, no one will notice it but you. In crafting, mistakes can usually be covered up pretty easily. Oh, I like the pumpkin pie. That turned out nice. But again, you could do these in any colors. If you wanted them in all the same color, that would be great. Next one I'm going to do is Elegant Eggplant. Just a little note on the purples. The darker purples, when you put them on things like this, they have a tendency to look darker, almost a black. I liked the effect of it on this, so I am, going to go ahead and use it, but just so you're aware, it's not going to give it the purple, rich purple that we think of. It's going to be the dark color, like I said, almost a black. And you may find that with the purples, you won't want to put as much color on the flower if you don't want it to have the darker, the darker effect. Or pick another color, pick a lighter shade than the Elegant Eggplant. Okay. This is pretty quick and easy, and with the Stampin' Right markers, they dry really quickly. This one is Gumball Green. It's one of our new in colors this year. And if you find that you're not getting the full flower, it may be that all you did was you missed some of the interior petals. These flowers, if you take the brush or tip, you can literally pull and go in between the petals of the flower. You also, if you go on the outside, can add a little more color to the outside. Once even you're done with this, if you want to go back in and add in some more color, you can, or if you wanted to add an accent. If you're going to do an accent, be sure that it's completely dry and that you're using a darker color than what you started with on that flower, because otherwise you could have it change colors and not do exactly what you want. This one is Daffodil Yellow. I really like this in the cardstock and the ribbons. It's just such a bright, beautiful yellow. Remember too, with Stampin' Up, one of the advantages to Stampin' Up products is that there's so many products that coordinate with each other. You can get inks, stamp pads, markers, you can do ribbons, you can do buttons, you can do designer series paper. This one's Melon Mambo. There's such versatility with Stampin' Up products. It's one of the reasons I love using them with my Stampin' Up projects. I've been a demonstrator with Stampin' Up now for almost 5 years, and when I first started, it was just for the cardstock. I really wanted the cardstock, and then I started stamping. I had never done any rubber stamping before, other than little paw prints for when our puppies signed the Christmas cards. And when I started rubber stamping and started doing more craft projects, I just couldn't stop and became a demonstrator and have just loved it. What we would do is we'd let it dry a little bit, but because we're doing this a video, it shouldn't take more than a couple minutes to dry. Because we're doing this training video, I'm going to go ahead and glue it now for you. What I have found is the Tombow multi-purpose glue is the best for this type of project. This glue is liquid. It's easily to reposition if you don't have it right straight when you first put it on. I also like this because there's 2 tips. One tip is a fine point tip. The other on the other end is a wider one. So if we were going to glue this whole area, this would be perfect. This is a great glue too that's pretty kid friendly. It's very forgiving. You can move the item around. So if you need a little extra time to position something, this is the glue to choose. The other thing I've found is if I use the the small tip the most. I store this is an antique toothpick holder, and I just store my glue in that, and it's on my work surface all the time, just in the holder. And so that way when I go to use it, the glue's down to the tip, it's all ready to go. So just a tip, if you store it towards the tip that you're going to use, you can just put it, if you've got a paper clip holder. This came from an antique store, it cost me a couple dollars. I had fun looking for it, I love antiquing. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take the multi-purpose glue, and I'm going to just do between 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch of glue, just gently going back and forth, gentle pressure. You don't need to squeeze hard, because then you'll have a lot more glue than you anticipated. Periodically, you may want to take a paper towel and just wipe off the tip. Okay, we're ready to go then with our flowers. I'm just going to put it across, and I set it right on top. Now I got it a little too far to my left. Because it's the liquid glue, I can bring it over. I just gently grab. It allows me to position. Once I have it exactly where I want it, then put some pressure down and then let it dry. And I would say probably let it dry 15 minutes. It's pretty quick drying glue, but because we have a flower here, and because there's moisture going to the flower, I'd give it a little extra time. This one I made about a half hour ago. It's right on. It's no issue. It's not going to fall off. The little one on the dress, what I did, there's a netting backing to the flowers. I trimmed back the netting, and then I put glue right here in the middle of the flower and then put it on the dress. And I just thought that was great. I'm really pleased with that. So with these flowers, you can do them in a complete design if you want. You can do them individually. You could cut them however you want it. It's the 2 yards that you get of them. It's a continuous row. It's so you cut off what you need. It's not strips of 1 foot each. It's a continuous that's wrapped around, and this is the package it comes in. Okay, so the new items we're talking about, the vanilla 5-inch flower trim, 2 yards. It's number 126869. The delicate details lace tape. The lace, which is what we used on the roses, is 1 inch wide, and the doily is 3/4 inch wide. The doily again is this one, and they're both approximately 3.28 feet long. And I want to give you the item number. The tape is on page 3 of the Spring Mini. It's number 130966, and it's white, not very vanilla. This one is very vanilla, and the tapes are white. So that's it. Thank you so much for stopping by today to watch my video. Again, I hope you'll stop by my blog. On my blog, there's lots of step-by-step tutorials, product reviews, everything imaginable that has to do with Stampin' Up! And crafting. So www.KreatesKards.com if you're ready to purchase a Stampin' Up! Product from me. If you go to my Stampin' Up! Website, which is marydirector.stampinup.net. I appreciate you following my blog and also my videos here on YouTube. Thank you.